glider was one of the best flying vehicles back in 2018. And most people loved it because it let you fly around really quickly, almost as fast as the helicopter and UFO, which were added at the time. But what made this item become so obsolete in the Big 26? That's what I'm going to go through with you in today's video. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so the glider was added in early 2018, as you can see here, 7 years ago. And it was one of the best flying ways because in that update, helicopters were still quite slow, and it was way better than using the standard parachute because you could go further and fly down faster and not take any fall damage like before the update. And also back in that day, they didn't have much other items, so they didn't have the jetpack, which is kind of what made the glider more obsolete. And they also made it so that you could use the glider infinitely, which is what they changed in more recent updates, which is honestly sad, I think, because that just made it even more worse. And that's why I think no one really likes the glider anymore unless you want to bust some banks. So overall, back in the day, the glider was okay. It was a good weapon. Now going on to more recent times, 1 year later, the jetpack was added, and it was 6 years ago in the Season 3 update. The jetpack, when it was first made, was pretty decent, I would say. It had basically the same stuff, and it was quite a fierce competitor with the glider. Back then, I still wouldn't say the glider had lost entirely, because back then, the glider was still really OP, because this was pre-nerf of the speed and everything that the glider got in more recent updates. So the glider was still really, really fast, and you could still use it more than once, which meant that people were kind of not really liking the jetpack as much because the glider was just better. But then the glider got a load of nerfs, and now in the modern day, this thing just doesn't hold up to its old standards. And the jetpack, even though it costs 50k, it's still better and much more worth of your money. So that's the history of the glider and why it became so obsolete in the later versions.